Alright, so we're going to do Abathur best build order, mastery points, and we're going to get right into it. Again, this build is designed for being able to get to your expansion as soon as possible. 20 supply is the first thing you need to worry about, and then from there I'll basically talk about what I'm doing. That's right, GC Cloud. As long as you do the best build order.
Have fun.
So I got a little bit of a while before we have to really worry about anything. Make sure you get your Overlord at 14. That's pretty obvious. But I cannot say it's so amazing grouping with a partner that has a relatively fast computer. Because I got to tell you, sometimes you wait for load times forever. There can be only one best build order for a specific map. Alright, so immediately send over your Overlord. Your Overlord.
We must spawn more Overlord. We need more money.
Do that to make sure that you can get a toxic nest out on the field here, and then you can start working on getting some creep over by your expansion. I'm at 20 supply, so I'm going to make my first Roach Warren, or my only Roach Warren.
We require more minerals.
I don't need to make anything else at the moment. I'm going to go down to take 2 guys over there immediately, bring them over here, and get my spine crawler started. And you're also going to make an extractor pretty much right away as well. So now I'm going to be down to 17 supply. I can saturate here. And then I want to get up to 20 supply, or 21 supply, get my other extractor. And then from this point, I'm basically going to get it to 22, and then I'll make my hatchery as soon as I can. I'm also going to take this guy over here now, because I want to be able to make that hatchery as soon as possible. I am basically just going to be sitting here at the supply until this is done. Once I've made this, I'll get my Overlord. Alright, so that's set to go. I'm gonna keep making some more drones.
We require more Overlords. You need more minerals. In my day, we mined 8 minerals at a time.
As soon as these are done killing this stuff, I'm gonna have them automatically unsiege. At this point, I want to make a roach so that I can draw whatever attention I need elsewhere, and I can start working on my Brutalisk. I have more toxic nests, so you might as well get those out. I have a second base working on queens while my main is basically doing everything it can to continue its evolution up the tech tree. Make a couple more drones for over here and then rally everything else over here.
You need more minerals. In my day, we mined 8 minerals at a time.
Biomass for
A new queen has emerged.
Pull everything into the nest because you want to get as much biomass as possible.
We require more Overlords.
Bring this guy here. Continue to make more
Overlords.
queens out of your second base while your main is continuing to finish up tech structures.
Action.
We got some stuff coming in, so I want to pull them all into the nest while I can.
Not enough minerals.
I want to pull them into the nests. So I am going to have to deal with some air units, so that's going to be a little annoying, but not horrible.
We must spawn. A new queen has emerged. You need more minerals. In my day, we mined 8 minerals at a time.
If only toxic nest affected air units.
Hostile sighted inbound on our base.
A main objective
I'm going to
has
try to
been
pick up all that biomass
destroyed.
here.
Target
I'm
neutralized.
going to go ahead and just finish up upgrades, get that as well. I also want to get this one, and then I will also get the upgrade that makes it so the queens can heal better as well. Continuing to get
We
more
require more minerals.
queens, at least up until probably like a total of maybe 6. Oh, god damn it.
Evolving brutalist.
There's an observer there.
Threat maximized.
Dropping this. I'm going to drop this as well.
Regeneration. Healing in progress.
So after I get basically upgrades I want to get in order to make it so I can get all the basic upgrades you need for units, that's when I'll start worrying about just solely air attack upgrades. Or, sorry, attack upgrades. Defensive ones will come afterwards. And I am at full... I am fully upgraded on my hatcheries. They're up to a lair, or sorry, up to a hive, so I don't need to worry about that. So I can start double producing queens to a point, but I don't want to use too much of my gas early on because I want to start making room for vipers. Anyways, at this point, I'm going to make a couple more roaches. I have a brutalisk, some queens on the way. Don't really need too much else. I don't really want to worry too much. You want to get the area of attack, area of effect for your guardians. And at this point, again, you're building up extra minerals, so you might as well build some extra overlords as well as drones that you can end up using to make extra spine crawlers and stuff like that.
Mutation complete. So
Pull back over here. I don't want to lose anything too fast.
Activating defensive drone.
Gonna continue to get more upgrades. Upgrades are pretty important.
Regeneration commencing.
Mutation
I'm
complete.
gonna take this roach, pick up all that biomass so I can get the rest of that.
Main objective destroyed.
Satisfaction achieved.
Unacceptable command.
I didn't really see too much ground forces, so I didn't really need to use my Viper just yet. Now that I got that, I can start working on some extra mutas that I will turn into my ultimate evolutions.
Prepare defenses.
Making sure I have all that in front, so that I can get as much biomass as possible. Again, there's really not much to worry about just yet. Basically, what I'm going to end up doing a lot of at the moment is just use a lot of ducks. I think that's really going to be the most important thing I can do. Because it's really going to be the best way to deal with all the air units that are coming in. Tempest, stuff like that. Again, I have extra minerals, so I might as well spend it.
Not enough Vespian gas. Price control.
On,
only 5 gas per barrel.
Static defense. I start worrying about more anti-air. Very little on the ground here. But I do have my guardians now.
Trains on that bottom track are faster than the others. You can try and stop them, but you gotta be quick.
Only really need
Our allies are in combat.
2 Vipers at the most here.
Not enough energy. Our forces are under attack.
Detection advised.
A
make a
main
couple
objective
guardians.
has been destroyed.
They never stood a chance.
We must your allies being attacked. Oh no!
Again, extra minerals. What do I do with them? I turn them into static defense. I will make a little...
Targeted for attack. Eliminate incoming enemies.
Your drones are under attack. My baby! Your forces are taking damage. Leave them alone!
Pull everything in I can.
toxic nests ready.
They're attacking your base, you know.
Deployment advised.
Don't really need to worry about too much else here. Gonna get some of this stuff over here. Make sure my Vipers are following.
2 departures inbound. Time to step up your game.
A couple extra queens are helpful, but not absolutely necessary at this point. I pretty much have everything I need.
Your forces are under attack.
Attack upgrades are really the only thing you need to worry about.
Thespian gas.
Don't worry too much.
Thespian tasteless. Really?
And now I can start abducting all of the big stuff.
A new queen has emerged.
Most of those guys will just die because of that.
Need more energy.
And abduct, abduct.
You're engaging the opponent.
Defensive drone initiated.
Our allies are in combat.
Don't have too much left to deal with. I might as well turn these into guardians at this point. They really just need more DPS for the ground.
Bringing a defensive drone online.
Your allies being
Your forces
attacked.
are under attack.
Mutation
complete.
Doing a good amount of DPS on the ground there.
Hey, your base is under attack, man.
Looks like we're making good
Yeah,
progress.
carriers, right?
We've knocked over roughly half their shipments.
Our allies are being attacked.
We're about to have
I'm
company.
gonna go ahead and make a
Enemy
couple
forces
more
are gunning for
Mutalisk
us.
and finish up the rest of my upgrades.
Main
Here now.
objective destroyed.
Turning this into as much as possible.
Unsuccessful. Poor planning.
And I love abducting things into my queen army, especially if I am going up against air units. Hopefully make this turn into a Brutalisk. But really not much else to worry about at the moment.
Evolving
really not much else to
Brutalisk.
worry about.
Threat maximized.
Once you get your Viper army, or your Vipers along with your army, there's really little that can do to you as long as you're microing even the tiniest bit.
Unacceptable command.
Mutation complete. So creative.
So again, now if I was going up against a ground army, I'd be doing a lot more disabling cloud. Oh, another thing is make sure that you turn off the ability for your Vipers to turn into ultimate evolutions. Nothing worse than losing an ultimate evolution or losing a Viper at a crucial time when you really want to have them. So I'll use that on this. I'm gonna pull in that. And use a couple more of those.
Whoa, need more energy, little guy.
Pulling them in, pulling them in, pulling them in.
Mutation complete. You're engaging the opponent. Need more energy.
The main
What's nice
objective
is
has
the,
been destroyed.
Objective
The Devours
terminated.
do quite a lot of DPS.
Evolving Leviathan. Sky will belong to Swarm.
And again, I have tons of
We
extra
must place
minerals
that
that
on
I can
creep.
spend as much as I want on spine crawlers. Because really this build is all just about what you do with your gas. Gas is the most important thing. And really the
Enemies
only
on
thing
the
you need.
offensive. Prepare to
Pick a
defend.
couple bit of this biomass here.
Potential for multiple toxic nests. Must use.
Your
So
allies
again,
under
just going to stay on
attack.
top of things. Now, I'm going up against a little bit more air units than I would like, so you can make a couple more Vipers. But in the end, you have to understand that most of the time, you can get away with less.
Not enough energy.
And then everything dies. Again, building up more minerals, I might as well spend it on some spine crawlers, stuff like that. Got some mutas, I might as well turn them into devourers. I don't really want the mutas for too much. And mutas are good, I love mutas, mutas are one of my favorite units, but in the end, not the unit that you want to have if you have an army like
Activating
this.
defensive drone.
There's better use of your air units than that. You don't really need a lot of queens, but queens will help you keep your army alive. You can see that the void rays
Contract
bunch
offers
up a
big bonus
lot.
for hitting the trains on the third rail, but don't do it for me. Do it for the good of the sector.
Our forces
new
are under
queen
attack.
Brutalisk, pinnacle of evolution.
You're under
Time to
attack.
play
Siege
defense.
up. Base is
And
under
continue
attack.
to build more and more spine
Main
crawlers over here
objective destroyed.
to do a lot of
Kill
damage there.
confirmed.
There's that. Still have more stuff I can build here, so I might as well.
Hey, your base is under attack. It's a trap. Unacceptable command.
I have 3
Enemy
brutalists,
combatants
so
in
I can
motion.
always use them
They're
to
headed
deep
our
tunnel
way.
anywhere I need them to be.
Bonus objective completed.
Move my vipers around. More queens sitting at home.
Sharing the Zerg regeneration. Healing in progress.
Pull all the carriers in,
Evolving
and we're good.
Brutalisk. Threat maximized.
Maybe for instant DPS to things,
Got him, Commander.
but you know what? I love my Ravens too. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my Ravens. Ravens are amazing. But so are Vipers. Vipers are pretty amazing units
Not
too.
enough Vespian gas.
Price controlled. Only 5 gas per barrel.
So you can always move in like this if it's a ground force.
Seems like we could use a defensive drone.
I'm gonna keep casting parasitic
Need
bomb
more energy.
because they do bunch up. It all depends on the units you're going up against, whether you want to use parasitic bomb, disabling cloud, or
We've got an enemy attack en route to our
Abduct.
base.
yeah, that's it. I mean, honestly, this build is relatively easy to do once you've gone far enough into it.
Cannot
But the problem is
escape.
just getting to that point sometimes.
That's a done deal. Been a pleasure working with you.
The big thing is basically at least making sure you get 1 Brutalisk out right away. And the more Brutalisk you get, the better off you're going to be. But it all depends on what you're really trying to do in the end. I know some people that really don't like to make too many ultimate evolutions. They even just turn it off completely because they just want the extra heals you get from doing attacks to units. But in the end, honestly, I feel like having at least 1 or 2 Brutalisk is really important to just help you steamroll through things. Because Brutalisk are really, really good. And the other thing is, you always build up so much extra minerals. Do not be afraid, especially on a map like this, to just build constant spine crawlers, and spore crawlers. They're really just going to be what you use to deal with everything else. And the one last thing I want to say is, because you build up minerals so fast, do not feel bad at all about building up enough overlords to basically get you to 200 worth of supply right away, because there's really nothing else to worry about. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I do hope you enjoy.